Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Wherever you are on this amazing piece of rock that's circling the sun.
I'm Ariel.
I'm Shya.
Welcome to being here. Ready for a boost?
I am.
You know, I know we said in the description, instead of reaching for your next cup of coffee, in my estimation, including reaching for a next cup of coffee, try listening. It doesn't have to be an either or.
Right.
I enjoy many things.
Listening is an amazing thing if you actually listen. I was amongst a group of people today who were talking a lot about many different subjects, but nobody seemed to be listening. There were several different conversations happening simultaneously. One fellow asked me what I did, and I was at a loss for words.
Well, you mentioned that earlier, and it occurs to me that listening not only gives you a boost, but the person you're listening to, it brings them alive.
Well, they get heard. See, most people are so busy thinking about what somebody's saying that they're not really getting the experience that that person's talking about, not from that person's point of view.
Or they have a divided attention, so they might be hearing, but it's like, how do I look? What do I say next? What do I do? Where am I going?
Yeah.
You know, today, tonight, this morning, whenever you're listening to this, allow yourself to be. Let yourself listen, and the words wash over you in a way that allows you to rest in yourself.
And actually be in your experience of the moment rather than thinking about it. Thinking is so highly overrated.
Let's practice with Anina, our first guest.
Oh, Anina.
Welcome to being here.
Are you in
Hello,
Thun?
my friends. I'm Anina in Thun, Switzerland.
You're in Thun. All right.
You know, you're very frequently in tune. A lot of people are out of tune, but we like that you're in tune.
Yes, we do.
It's so funny that you say that because I wanted to say something about listening and music. Something I found I experience more and more when I'm in concerts. So I like classical music a lot. And lately when I've gone to concerts, I have such a direct experience of hearing the music. Yes. And I think that comes from hanging out with you and listening to what you say, particularly about listening. So
Yes.
in previous times, so I do mentally know a lot about music. I've been around musicians nearly all my life. I had cello lessons, I had singing lessons, I sang in a lot of choirs. And for a long time, my listening to music was like an intellectual exercise.
Beautiful.
Is what the word that comes up.
Well, that's the words that came up in me before you said them. It's perfect. It's like an intellectual exercise where you're having a conversation with yourself about the music, but you're not really feeling it.
Yes, yes. And I was in London the week before last with my niece, and we went to a concert, a classical concert, and halfway through, I just like woke up to my own experience of listening. That was so amazing. I get goosebumps when I talk about it. And that's such a gift for me, you know, to be able to put that intellectual knowledge which I think is part of me too, but to be able to put that on the back burner to really experience
Yes.
the beauty and the blessings in the music.
Well, you know, it goes everywhere. I've been living with Ariel for 43 years approximately.
Mhm.
We've been married for almost 41 of those years.
Mhm.
In September, it'll be 41 years, yes?
Yeah, and when this airs, a week later, it'll be our 43rd anniversary of our first date.
Yes.
Yeah.
And our relationship is new. I mean, I do not take Ariel for granted. I rediscover who she is each day. It's a different person. It's not, I know this.
Yeah.
It's, who is this?
Mhm. Well, similar
Wasn't
to
it this morning that you were dancing in front of
I
me?
was, somebody sent a video for that they had been moved by. We have a WhatsApp group for the people in creativity and intuition.
Which is a seminar that we'll be doing in New York City.
In a couple of days. And I played it, and it was not one I heard before, but I just let myself move to it because I believe it was Vivian, shout out Vivian, had said it. I was shaking my booty to it, and I thought you guys might like it. And she sent it to everybody. And I thought, well, what a gift. So I will listen to the music and I will allow myself to be moved. And it was so sweet. So I love what you said. Your the way you phrased it, you woke up to the experience of listening.
Yeah.
And in there, you didn't make yourself wrong for having a perhaps more limited ability to experience at the beginning of the concert. You just celebrated where it took you. That's just so awesome.
You see, we've become so sophisticated in our tastes. You know, there was a time that we were hunters and gatherers, and we ate what we found or killed or whatever, and that was it. But now you have a choice of herbs that you can put on your meat. You have a choice of vegetables to go along with it. You have a choice of everything. That's all there. You go into a supermarket, there's all kinds of things.
You could even be vegan. You could do anything you want.
Yeah, that's right. We've all become so sophisticated in our tastes that we forgot to experience our life.
Yes. Yes. And when you say that about all the choice, I see like another side of that medal. And that's how we then develop preferences, which then again limit our experience of living.
Beautiful. I'm loving having this conversation with you because you're so enlightened, if you will. See, that you have preferences, then you disagree with the way your life is showing up because you would prefer something different. Doesn't, even if you got something different, it wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
You know, people move to different parts of the world to change the way they experience living. Now, of course, part of the world will influence, you know, whether if you're in the tropics or in the Arctic, but it will influence your experience. But if you're unhappy, you'll bring on your unhappiness to wherever you are. If you have preferences that life is not showing up the way you would prefer, you will complain about it rather than enjoy what you've got.
Many, many years ago, a friend of ours and a friend of yours, Adam, he was much, much younger than, as were we all, of course. But he was talking about a video he had just seen about millennials and how they had first world problems. And at that time, first world problems was a term that was unusual. People hadn't heard it yet. And he was telling us he had seen a video of somebody talking about, oh, I don't like my pillow. I don't, my blanket is too, my food is. and it was all first world problems.
Yeah.
And I really see how, yes, what you say is so brilliant, Anina. It's like, along with preferences and the ability to have preferences and choices, comes a possibility for maturity where you set aside those preferences and embrace what is. Yeah, as opposed to, oh, I wish I was sitting a little closer in this concert, or I wish
Well, if I were only 40 years younger, or 50 years younger, or 60 years younger, or 70 years younger, then I could be happy.
Well, for me, I'm much happier now than I was, like, say, 40 years ago.
I
Me
believe you.
too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
I normally on this podcast, we announce the seminars after taking the break, where we listen to the listener spotlight, where people talk about their experience of transformation. But I want to talk about it now because being with you is so inspiring, Anina. It occurs to me that when Shya and I started, friends of ours noticed something different about us and said, come speak to our friends, come, speak to our businesses. And we did our best to articulate what we were experiencing. And so we'd be in a room trying to impart an idea, an experience, and it was a challenge. But now with people like you who are immersed in your experience of living, people come to a seminar, whether it's our Living Made Easy, to our virtual seminars, or our in-person weekend seminars, or Costa Rica, and the density, or the lack of density, perhaps.
Well, the concentration of aware people makes an aware reality very easy to catch, as opposed to when Ariel and I first started, where there was only she and I who could maintain the space of being without tracing off to our minds tangential thoughts and upsets and way of relating to life that was normal.
In the recent past, like our last weekend seminar was in Hamburg, which you attended.
Yes.
The Superpower of Being You and the Freedom to Breathe were the two courses we did while we were there, in addition to an Living Made Easy in-person evening. And recently, having people on this podcast as guests who attended that, it's been this incredible partnership of possibility that has been so inspiring. And you really, really give me a boost today. I really appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right?
Ditto, ditto, ditto. Thank you so very much for
Thank you.
being you.
Thank you.
It's that time.
The time for what?
Our listener feedback spotlight.
What is that?
Well, I'm so proud of the people who listen to this show. And now we get to hear from one or more of them about what's happening in their lives with transformation by listening to this podcast, and
what they've discovered about life, what they've discovered about their lives, that they are experiencing fun in their lives.
And that they want to share it with you.
Yeah.
I'm Elke in Hamburg, and I'm knowing the Canes and transformation since nearly 20 years. And throughout my life, the ideas have been a big support and a pleasure.
Do you want to have well-being with consistency? Connect with people all over the world from the comfort of your own home at Ariel and Shya's lively interactive Living Made Easy virtual seminars. Join any of their 2-hour online events or take a deep dive into the magic of being you at a virtual weekend seminar. Come on, let's connect. Find out more and register at transformationmadeeasy.com.
It occurs to me, even though we were speaking with Anina, I would love to tell you what's upcoming. This weekend in New York City is Creativity and Intuition Weekend. This Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, there's still room for you if you'd like to come. Transformational Time and Project Management.
That's September 27th, 28th, and 27th and 28th.
Yeah,
right.
it's it.
It's just a weekend. Yes.
That's right. Saturday and Sunday.
That is a virtual seminar via Zoom.
Then in October, we are going to Hamburg again. I'm really happy we're going. I love being there. I love the people who come. Shout out to all of you. And that includes all the people who come from the United States to get the Hamburg experience. We are on Thursday, October 23rd, doing Speak Up. And the Practical Enlightenment course, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, is October 24th, 5th, and 6th.
You know, we don't teach. We turn on a light. And in that light, you see you in your life as you actually are, rather than your thoughts about yourself.
And your concerns about your limitations.
Right. And you discover that you're limitless in your ability.
One last thing before we call in our friend Tanya. Costa Rica 2026, we have some amazing people like Anina and Tanya coming. And you are invited. If you want to know more about it, you can find out all about all our seminars at transformationmadeeasy.com. And the courses we're doing in January, the prerequisite is a weekend seminar sometime in this calendar year. So yeah, you're invited. Ready, Tanya?
We're ready.
We're ready for you.
There you are.
Hi.
Hi guys. This is Tanya. I'm zooming in from Oxford in England.
Nice.
Excellent.
We were talking about you today. I think it was today, about how much we've been enjoying doing individual consulting sessions with you. That I know it's something that you are able to ask for any kind of consulting through your company. Your company set up a support structure for your executives. And you said, I would like to do some consulting with the Canes, which they have been supporting. And it's so inspiring to see what you do with it.
That's right. But when Ariel started talking, I was thrown back in my memory to the moment that you transformed big time. Of course, you've had transformations over the years, but it was a year or so ago in Hamburg, you looked and saw what you wanted and you went for it.
And it was like, wow, somebody took a veil from in front of you and here you are.
That's right. It was really a dramatic shift that took place in an instant. You know, transformation is instantaneous. It isn't a little at a time. You don't transform a little at a time.
And it's cumulative.
Because
everything you invest in, I don't know, makes you brighter. Yeah.
Yeah, I really get that. And sort of thinking about that first time when I approached my work to say, this is what I want to do. And I remember feeling so hesitant about it. Like, can I ask for this? Will they think that's strange? Will they support me? And now, more recently, when I asked, it was just so clear. It felt so clear to me. This is what I want. Can you support it? I can't.
It's pretty universal. In order to ask, in this case, I'm just going to use this as a little slice of the Tanya pie. that you looked at, found something you want, and you were concerned about asking for it because you were afraid of what somebody else might think.
Well, you had the concern that they had the considerations about you that you had about you, that you were not enough.
So in order to go for or express what you want, you had to be willing to include your enculturation, which has you second guess yourself and be hesitant and really allow
It's
yourself
like
to go
jumping
for
off
it.
a zip line, you see. You can have all the considerations in the world, and then you jump. And suddenly you discover that your arms are strong enough to hold you, and you're safe in an exciting moment of your life where all your fears and doubts were manifestations of your mind's future-oriented fears of survival.
Yeah.
By the way, if it occurs to me while we're speaking to you, if you've not signed up for our newsletter yet and our blogs, do it. You can go up on our website and you can see in the past month, Tanya wrote an incredible blog, and you can actually see a picture of her and see how gorgeous she is. So I highly recommend her. Yes.
Yes.
Thanks for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I enjoyed writing it.
Yes.
It's a very
Well, here's the thing, my dear. These days you're enjoying your life.
Yeah. What aren't you enjoying?
So is there anything that you're not enjoying?
No. I felt like that was it at times I feel I don't know how to explain, but sheepish about saying that. Like that.
Of course.
How can I say that things are great when there's so much going on in the world?
But you see, here's the thing. That's the thing about transformation. See, people are lost in a past-future reality. So they're not in the current moment of their lives. For the most part, they're in their thoughts about their lives, which keeps them out of the moment. Now, when you are in the moment, life is great. See, when you're in the experience, your experience of living in the current moment of your life, there are no problems. Even if there are circumstances that aren't your preference, that doesn't enter into it. Even if you're in pain, it's not problematic. It's only problematic when you wish it were different than it is. And that is most people's lives.
Well, it's interesting that I happen to be speaking about first world problems because it occurs to me that what you do is you work for an organization, a nonprofit, that is devoted to addressing and taking care of childhood malnutrition. So I can really get how that could be compounded for you. How could you say, I'm great, I'm well fed?
And there are children starving in the world.
But
Yeah.
I see your well-being
infuses your world with well-being
and with a possibility for people. And I'm telling you, you guys, go read her blog. It was so cool because even in the middle of her presentation in Barcelona, she got a nosebleed, and everything about it was wonderful. It wasn't like this tragedy. She is a living, breathing representation of possibility that has me be more
willing to be yourself.
Yes, but also I just see a quality of generosity and a quality of that yes, you can take care of people who can't take care of themselves. There's something wonderful about you.
You know, you
Tanya.
talk about generosity. You are one of the most generous people I've ever met. Period. That's really true. And so you see her generosity, I see your generosity in how you take care of people. See, if you're well in yourself, you can take care of people. But if you're a dead battery and ready for a boost, that's interesting. If you're a dead battery, you hook onto a semi-live battery, you're going to pull half of its power away. You're going to deaden your world and your deadness rather than be a boost, rather than be an energy source for life.
You know, before this recording today, because we pre-record these, our cat came upstairs and she was meowing at this crazy bird we have that is banging against the window.
It's like most people, it's embattled with its life and the reflection of itself off a window.
For some reason, this cardinal thinks its reflection is itself, so he goes around our house.
Or it maybe not see him as himself. He sees him as an adversary.
And he's always whacking at it. So I actually picked her up. I went over onto this couch we have in the office. I laid down, I put her on my legs, and we both took a little nap. It was the sweetest thing. Oh, yes, life is good.
Life is great.
Life is great.
You know, anybody who's listening to this, you have wealth. Otherwise, you wouldn't have access to a computer or to a device to listen to this.
But no two things can occupy you at the same time. And if you're listening to an old recording of complaint about what isn't because you think it should be different, then there's this option, this alternative. It's called transformation, where you can step into the current moment of your life, not the history, not the story, not the complaints, and discover the magic of the moment.
I have one more thing for you, Tanya, and probably for the people who are listening, because I'm sure they resonated with you when you were talking about being hesitant to ask for what you want or go for what you want. We recently met one of your friends on a Living Made Easy, and it was so lovely to meet her. And it's somebody that you had to include any hesitancy you might have, like, will this like it? And you invited her. And I realized that chip of, oh gosh, will they like me? Will they think I'm weird? Rides with you on your shoulder. It's part of your enculturation. And I really appreciate that you included that, stepped past it to offer people a possibility of something that you found so valuable.
You see, the thing is this: people think they're deficient and need to fix or change themselves rather than discovering that they're already perfect and there's nothing to change except to stop working on themselves as though they're broken. See, our first book, Working on Yourself Doesn't Work, a book about instantaneous transformation, was about that, discovering a reality outside that which you were programmed with as a child, being born into a culture called your family, where they were trying to fit into the larger culture, and you learned to behave like they did. You learned to be reserved and not fully self-expressive, to doubt yourself rather than realize how amazing you are.
Yeah. But it's so rewarding. Or I really enjoy if I invite, actually, it doesn't matter if they come. I'm actually enjoying inviting people and sharing what transformation means for me.
Yes and no. It does matter if they come and they discover their life anew rather than same old, same old.
And I understand what you're saying when you say it doesn't matter. That's not the primary thing. And it makes a huge difference when somebody gives you the gift of their presence to something you invite them to.
Well, yeah. And, like, so people are so reactive in their lives, but proactivity is almost non-existent. And when you discover the moment, a byproduct of that is proactivity. You look and see what you need to do, and you usually, not always, do it. I mean, I still have a conversation with myself about my fishing truck. The Suburban that I used to go fishing in, it's a mess inside. It needs cleaning. I went and washed the outside of it, but I still have to organize the inside.
Well, when you're ready, you'll do it.
Nice.
I know I will.
Mm.
But today I realized it as I was looking around, it needs some reorientation.
Sometimes that's what happens. Things have a bit of entropy, and then you go, oh, I'm ready to address this. Or you're like, oh, I'm a slum. And one is more uplifting than the other.
Just coming back to this, the getting a boost. I attended one of your evening seminars yesterday, which gave me, was it yesterday? Which gave me such a boost. And I love the fact that I don't even know how that's going to happen, or where that's going to kind of play out. Today, I had such a sweet exchange with my daughter because she had received a detention and I'd got the notice of her detention.
Something very interesting. I was going to say something about, you said life is great. And I was thinking, but you've got a teenage daughter, so that's got to create conundrums.
So what happened? What was the detention over?
So the detention was for not handing in some homework, but then also not going to the 30-minute detention that she got from that. So therefore she had a 2-hour detention tomorrow when we, after school, after she breaks up from school, are supposed to be traveling to visit my cousin, our cousins. So it meant she would be 2 hours late and we would have to delay going. But I just listened to her when she came home, and there were things that she'd done that the teacher, she'd sent to the teacher and the teacher hadn't received. And we just sorted it out, but I could listen to her. I could see that I had this is inconvenient. This is an inconvenient happening. And why hadn't you done this, darling? That was kind of going through my head, but I just listened to her. And
she transformed in your listening to her.
So does she still have the 2-hour detention tomorrow?
We will find out in the morning, but I don't think so, because we found the email so that she had sent with the homework, and we've resent it. So we'll see in the morning when she talks to her teacher, but I suspect not.
But I love that you didn't
take an upset and drop it on her and get her more upset.
Yeah.
See, we've all learned by being upset and more upset. The consequences of what we do are dire enough, then we won't do it anymore, rather than, oh, that happened. So sorry.
Yeah. Also, I really liked it because you were saying, oh, this is inconvenient, darling. But it wasn't like, this is inconvenient, darling. Yeah, I didn't hear that come out like a curse word. That was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. And the best part is that, we're good. Me and her, we looked at it together, and that feels really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that awesome? That's so inspiring.
Yes, that's a boost.
You know, recently, Shya and I went on a fishing trip. The fishing was really disastrous, but there was this dinner we had with a number of people, and one of them was a fellow who was in his 90s, who was a physician and also a fly fisher. And he is a guy who was up for a Nobel Prize for coming up with how to turn serum, like do blood transfusions back around when AIDS was in a way where you could take your own blood and give yourself your own, bank it before.
Wow.
Yeah, he did a lot of, and by the way, I was thinking of you because he came up with most of the things with
For hip surgery, hip replacement surgery,
Oh.
he was a developer of it.
So I know your mom just had, anyway, he was a very, very interesting fellow. And he was talking about learning to fly fish because his grandfather fly fished back in England. And this happened in Florida. And he said, I learned how to fly fish before I have memory of it. So I don't recall.
It's like learning language. He doesn't recall learning how to speak a language. He doesn't recall learning how to cast a fly rod. He just knows how to do it.
And he said, so I did the same thing with my sons. I realized that a person who learns that skill set while they're in their formative years, they have a wholly different ability than people who learn it later in life. And that's what I see is happening for the children of the people who have been investing themselves in transformation for a number of years. They have the potential to have a possibility for transformation, for living their lives directly internalized in a way that many of us struggled with for years.
I love that idea. Yeah.
Because I recall you years and years and years ago in Costa Rica, when your daughter was just a little tyke and sitting in a high chair, you brought her along and we got her babysitting for she was immersed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was 2.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think she was 2.
Wow.
I'd forgotten that, of course.
Yeah. She was cute then. She's gorgeous now. There you go. Hey, thank you for being with us.
Yes, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Really share this podcast with your friends. It is so rewarding when somebody's life comes alive, and really go see Tanya's blog. If you're listening to this in the archive, I'm sure whatever blog is current, you'll enjoy. Again, you can find out all our courses, sign up for the newsletter, access the blogs at transformationmadeeasy.com. And we're already demonstrating next week's episode title,
which is teamwork.
And we'll investigate it more next week. So we'll be back.
So come on back and don't miss being here.